You're listening to the Long Game Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Scaiano. If you are only making content for social media, you are missing out. You hear the headlines. Is it the end of social media? Has this platform died? With Meta, changing not only its name, but its entire company focus, and Twitter shaking things up, people are exploring their options for what's out there. Social media is a fickle lover. It can do you right and bring eyes to you, but it can also frustrate you and make you second guess everything you are doing. So what are the options for creating a presence if you decide to start moving away from social media? For me and my clients, it's what I always build upon: custom brand content. This is some type of long form content, be it blog posts, podcast episodes, resources, or a video show that we do consistently. And yes, everyone knows about this and, is aware. But are you really? Are you listening? And are you doing it? Because if you are not, this episode is going to change your mind. The long game is why you should be creating branded content now. Everyone is so unhappy with social media. The amount of time you need to spend working on it, all that time and not getting the results you want. The constant changing of what's working, the glitches and the never being able to reach support, to the platforms becoming political spheres. We always have to remember that social media is made to serve the social media companies, not us. Even in the advertising realm, social platforms are starting to spin as advertisers are pulling back. This in turn is causing massive layoffs in the industry, which really just affects the end user. And as social media platforms, they always have their own agenda, and it doesn't necessarily line up with ours. So what is there to do? How do we reach customers, and how do we let people know who we are and what we do? So first, I want to say the total death of social media is not upon us, but there is a shift happening. And the shift is, and really has always been, the media companies are playing their way. And, I think now people are just really starting to get over it, because you will only get traction with social media right now in two ways. And number one is by posting reels and really going deep into it. And two is paid advertising. And with this, you really need an expert leading your campaign, because there are so many nuances that you need to be with people who are doing this every single day to be able to lead you to success. The DIY route doesn't always work. So because of this shift, I am betting more than ever on custom brand content for myself and my clients. And custom brand content is some form of long form content, be it blog posts, podcast episodes, resources you create, or a video show, and it's done consistently. And that helps move the needle for your audience by sharing your expertise. And I have been saying this for a while now, that people are sleeping on SEO. After I did an adjustment to my own website optimization and I support it with content from my podcast, people have been finding me solely based on search. And there is no better feeling than producing your content and having it go to the right people. The right people find it and they become customers. So let's talk about what custom brand content looks like. When working with clients, I like to establish pillar content for them. This is that long form content that gives space to put out your expertise, as well as something to repurpose. So content, it's not a sales pitch. It's not advertising. And yes, you can have calls to action, but brand content is really about sharing your expertise as well as infusing it with your brand stories. So pillar content, it lives on your website and it serves an array of purposes. So number one, when you create this custom brand content, it creates a conversation with your audience. You provide what they need and they come to you for your expertise, or they let you in their inbox, and you are able to weave in your stories, brand stories as well as personal stories, so that your audience gets to know you. And you're also able to provide customized calls to action. So the audience may act on your direction, right? Bettering themselves with your products or services. And they also have the opportunity to come in deeper into your world in various ways. And they may tell their friends and refer you along the way. And this is relationship building. Both parties get the ability to participate in the relationship. So number 2, this custom brand content, it draws new people to your brand through search. And this is what so many people are sleeping on. Your content gives you the opportunity to optimize your website more robustly. And this is a huge benefit of creating long form content for your brand, because it not only serves your potential customers, but it serves many others that you help, who are just there to listen and learn from you. This larger audience, they help to drive sales to your customers, and not everyone who reads and listens or watches, they're going to become a customer, and that's okay. Your content work is about sharing what you know and what you do with your unique spin to it. And number 3, with custom branded content, it makes social media easier as you've got something to repurpose. You creating this brand content is complementary to working with social media, and it makes it easier because when you start with the long form pillar content, it's easy to repurpose into the short form. And depending on your systems or methods, you can get multiple pieces of short form content from one pillar content piece. And this keeps you talking about the same message during a period of time. And it also promotes the long form content because the short piece is supporting and linking back to the whole on your website. We want people clicking back through to our websites. This is the hub of your business online. And, repurposing isn't only for social media. You can repurpose to email, or you can repurpose your newsletter to blog post. And there are so many different ways to maneuver the content once you are making it. All right, number 4. One of the most important items when it comes to creating pillar content in this day and age is that it's content that you own and completely control. It's on your website. You can enable comments or turn them off. It's always available, or it can be something special that you need to do something to access. You can, add as many links and as many calls to action as you like. You can curse. You can tell jokes without being flagged by the bots. You can get political. Whatever your opinions are about anything, you can say it. And you can completely be yourself in the content that you house on your website. All right, so you've got some reasons to make this content now. And here's the thing, no matter what happens with social, you are moving in a direction of taking control of things. If you start now making some sort of long form content for your website and doing it consistently, you are building a foundation of positioning yourself, positioning your website, your emails as a place to get information, to build community, and to make sales. You give your audience a reason for coming to you and your website. With social media, you give them a reason to see us as part of the social media ecosystem, and that they can easily scroll by in their mindless sessions, right? Now, I get there are tons of eyeballs on social media platforms, and they do bring traffic, and there, are so many platforms to consider when making content besides the Metas and the Twitters of the world. So we're going to talk about that in another episode. But when I look at my own Google Analytics, I see that I've got very strong referral traffic from Facebook. I've built it. I'm engaged there and I participate in groups. Like, this is working for me. But if something happened to my account and, it was blocked, or the platform sold to the richest man in the world and he made some drastic changes, I'd still have my search juice and a place for my voice with a community of people who are following to listen. It's the not all the eggs in one basket approach, and it gives me the autonomy to do as I wish. So you may have thought about it, and now is the perfect time to take the steps to get started. Start to build your foundation now. I'm going to be talking more about this here on the podcast so you can learn strategies and ways to be thinking about creating your content marketing. Be a little freer and build your empire. All right, everyone, have a great week. Thanks for joining me today. You can access more information, links mentioned in this episode, and the show notes at thelonggamepodcast.net. If today's show connected with you in some way, please share it with your friends or hop on and leave a review. Both of these make a really big difference. All right, until next time, keep playing the long game.